I'm Susan Shaffer. I own Joyful Art Studio, and I have been an artist for 30 years. And my show this month here at Washington County Arts Council is called Joyful Reflections. And the show is also, participating in the show are 5 of my students. I have Vickie Negley, who is one of my best friends in the world, and we have painted together and been friends for over 30 years. And she was devout in helping me hang the show. She is, I can't thank her enough for what a wonderful friend she is and artist. And I have Hoffman, who is an artist from Waynesboro. She's a watercolorist, and she often paints things from her trips throughout the year. And she brought some lovely pieces to share with you also today. And I have Isiah Colon, who is just graduated from high school. And Isiah has studied with me since he was 9 years old. And I am so proud of how he has overcome his struggles in life with being autistic and meeting people's expectations. And he just is a wonderful artist and just a delight of a young man to work with. I also have Betsy Baughman here. She has several pieces that she specializes in colored pencil, and she does a lot of pet portraits on commissions, and she did bring a portrait of Zelda, the bulldog, and a lovely pile of donuts we'd all like to eat. And I also have 4 pieces of Greg Hilt's work with me. Greg is, he painted with me 6 years, and he passed last summer. And Greg suffered from a very atypical form of dementia, and his work is very powerful to me. And be sure to study it and see all the things you can see in it. And he was very inspirational. His wife is a wonderful, lovely person too, and she agreed to contribute some pieces here. But I just think it's really powerful to look at Greg's work and know that he struggled to think clearly and do simple things because of his dementia. The reason that I named the show Joyful Reflections, like as I walk around this room in the hall and look at each painting, I think about, well, first of all, most of my paintings are painted from photos that I've taken. And I always tell my students, you want to paint things that move you emotionally. And so even if you don't get a picture of something, you can remember how you felt when you experienced or saw something. And so like with my students' work, like Greg, I think about him, bless his heart, the last year of his life, he wasn't able to hold a paintbrush, but he painted with his fingers. And just really continued to be such a joy and inspiration to all of us to see what painting and the socialization of being in class did for him. And Isiah, to look at his work and the 2 pieces he entered, he painted completely from his mind's eye, things he saw, and these were all his ideas and drawings. And just thrilled to see where he goes in life. I'm so proud of him. But even all of my students, when I look at their work and see it framed, it's just such a joy to me to reflect on the job I've been blessed and able to do. I believe greatly that if we can create, it improves our mental health and helps us work through all kinds of struggles we may be having. But I certainly feel joy is something each of us get out of it. And I don't think it's even important that we create gorgeous masterpieces. I think we need to create, and that's all. I want to take time to thank all the folks here at Washington County Arts Council for selecting me to be one of the shows this year, for all the help. Chris has been invaluable in helping me get this show put up. And Mary Ann is always supportive. She includes a link to my website, Joyful Art Studio in Greencastle, and the board members. And I want to thank my husband. He actually spent several hours in the studio with me, helping me put the screw eyes in to hang things, and his support is greatly appreciated. And Vickie came and helped hang the show. Oh my goodness, what I'd done without her here yesterday. So I'm very grateful for everyone's help. Pieces that I'm showing this month are called batik watercolor. And the batik means you use a form of hot wax to resist taking on color. And usually when we think about batik, we think about it on silk or fabric. And however, I was blessed to take lessons with Kathy George out of Ohio, and she taught me her method of painting batik watercolors. So we use a rice paper, it's called gin washi rice paper. We use hot wax, which I keep going in a little personal pan skillet, and watercolors. And the process is I draw my pattern or my design on, and then I also reserve the paper where I need it as bright whites with hot wax, and then I do my first layer of painting. And I may do 7 or 8 layers in an involved painting. And it's an all-day process, and when you're finished, the whole painting is covered with wax, and that is ironed off, and it is then a very different consistency of paper. It's much more fragile, actually, but then you frame it. The smaller pieces on the one wall that are on wooden canvases have been painted by using copper chops. And chops are spelled T-J-A-P-S. And you heat those in hot wax, and then you stamp on the rice paper or the fabric. I have some silk scarves and garden flags here too. But same process, you paint, you dry, you put more wax on, and paint and you dry and put more wax on. And lastly, when the painting is finished, I adhere them to the wood canvases with Golden's matte medium, and then I, on top and below and above the painting, and then I often also will maybe collage around the edge. I may use some pastels on top of the painting. Lately I've been using a lot of gel pens, or even repaint with watercolor or acrylics, anything to create more of the look that I'm looking for. So I hope you enjoy my show, and I thank you very much for taking time to watch it online and to come in and see it. Hope you find things you like.
My name is Glenda Hilt, and my husband Greg has some artwork on display as one of Susan's students. He was diagnosed with posterior cortical atrophy in 2013, which is a rare type of dementia, which is usually always early onset, and it affects your vision and your ability to process information. So he struggled with spatial awareness, visual recognition, and depth perception are some of the big things with this particular type of dementia, as well as he also couldn't organize anything very well anymore. So in 2014, I asked Susan if she would be willing to take him on as a student, as I tried to find something that he could do, since he could no longer do his hobbies of photography and woodworking and home repairs. So Susan agreed, and what's on display here is somewhat a progression of his artwork. In the beginning, he still had some fine motor skills, and as he progressed from 2014 to 2020, he was finger painting at the end. And Susan was wonderful at just encouraging him, and he used to paint at home for hours because it was something he could do. So, which was, I'll be honest, it was hard for me to see what he did, but I have come to really appreciate it. And it's one of those things, if you turn his artwork different ways, you see different things. It is abstract, but he painted what he saw. And like I say, he painted as long as he was able. I think the art kept him going longer than he that maybe he would have been able to go if he didn't have the art to keep him busy.